Albert Einstein said, "The significant problems you face cannot be solved at the level of thinking that creates that problem." So you and I pick a problem right now, a situation or circumstance that we would love to transform. So I encourage you to go ahead and think of just one or two or maybe three situations in your life. Maybe it's the amount of free time you have, and you notice that weeks go by and you don't have the free time to do what you want. Or maybe it's the amount of dollars flowing through your bank account and you would love to turn up the volume on the amount of dollars. Or possibly it's the connection you have with your significant other and it's just not as much fun lately and there's not as much energy as there used to be. So I invite you to just pick one. And you know how I know that you're having a problem? Because at least this is true for me. We're breathing and we're alive. And so life is constantly seeking to express itself by means of us into this greater, freer, fuller way. And we have our own resistances. We have our own upper limits to how much life we can really allow, how much positive energy we can allow. And so when we hit the edge of that, we call that a problem or a circumstance or a situation. What can we do now to transform that significant problem we face? So I assume by now you've picked one, whether it's money or connection or free time. So the significant problems we face cannot be solved at the level of thinking that produces the problem. So what Einstein said is the code to unlocking the power that we all have to live a life that we love living. So our problem really was generated by a thought pattern. So let's say we're watching television, for example, which I try not to do much of anymore. But the picture on the television is the effect of the frequency that my tuner's tuned to. So let's say you're watching CNN or Fox, and you're tuned to a frequency called CNN or Fox. It doesn't matter that you could be tuned to Discovery or HGTV or Romance or Westerns or whatever other channels are available. We're tuned into the channel that produces that result. Does that make sense? And so Einstein is saying the significant problems I have cannot be solved at the frequency of the problem, but there's many other frequencies of thinking available. So we just have to change the frequency. And I found that when I'm looking at a problem in my life, and sometimes when I find that I'm allowed in my life to get stuck and I fight a problem, if I just take a deep breath in through my nose and exhale slowly out through my mouth, it reboots my nervous system and I'm refreshed. It changes the frequency. And so the way I'm thinking about this problem is not going to solve the problem. There has to be another way to think about it. There has to be another way to approach it, right? And so what do? In my life, I simply sit down and I ask my higher self, excuse me real quick. I ask my higher self, what's another way to think about this? What's another action I can take regarding this? And then I let the ideas come. And Spirit is so good at answering. Ask and you shall receive. The answers are all there. So I start writing down every idea I get, including the ones that I know in the moment I hear them that I'm not going to do that. Like for me, I'm not going to work at Burger King 3 nights a week to generate a little extra money. I'm probably not going to do that, but I write it down anyway. And I allow the ideas to come my way, all of them, to be written down. I call this sourcing ideas. They're ideas that come from the Most High, from Source. And the answer is almost always in one of the answers, the ideas that I've written down. So let's say you're pumping water in a field, and the first water that comes out of that pipe is brackish, it's brown, it's gross. You're not going to drink it. But if you keep pumping that water, that brackish water that's been laying in the pipes, it moves away. And there's this power of the vacuum that brings the suction all the way down to the water table where that crystal clean water flows. And now it's mine because I pumped and I pulled and I made this new channel, this new frequency for the crystal clear water to come my way. So, my friends, the significant problems that you face and the significant problems that I'm facing cannot be solved at the level of thinking that generated the circumstance or the situation or the condition. But there is another frequency available, and you're tapped into it right now. And so am I. We turn to it and we ask a larger question. We just reframe it. What's another way to think about this? What is something different I can do about this? Track your answers. Write this down. Seriously, this stuff is powerful. Track your answers and act on the ones that are most empowering and life-giving for you. Change the frequency of your life. You have all the power within you. Make it a great day, my friends.